Hey there, friends. Welcome back to part 2 of our effective marketing ideas for your daycare series. As I mentioned in my last podcast, we are going to be focusing on effective marketing ideas for your daycare so that we can fully book your daycare or your childcare program. So every single episode for the month of April, we're going to be focusing on that. I am breaking down different parts of this training because there's a lot to cover. And what I want from you is to really follow the trainings in order because it just makes sense and really just implement what you are learning, okay? So last week we talked about your offer. We talked about what that looks like, how to do some simple market research, how to get into the minds of those that you want to serve, and really do the work and focus on how your program is going to stand out from your competition. Okay? So if you haven't listened to that episode, stop right now, go back, listen to part 1, because you won't be able to understand today's episode if you don't do the work in the first part, okay? Now, if you've done the work and you've listened and you've put something on paper and you're pretty confident, today I want to focus on messaging, okay? Messaging is so important. If people are confused, they do not buy, okay? I'm going to repeat that again. If your ideal client is confused after they've been on your website, after they've read one of your posts, after they've visited your daycare, whatever. If they're confused, they will not buy. So your messaging is really, really important, okay? Now, this is really important because this is what's going to help you bridge the gap between your offer, which you did in part 1, hopefully, and putting your message together, okay? So I'm going to walk you through a few areas that you want to make sure your message is crystal clear on. And hopefully you'll make some changes if you have to, so that we can move on to part 3 in the next episode, okay? So the first thing I want you to think about is putting your unique selling proposition together on all your traffic points, all your pages, all your marketing material, okay? So if you don't know what a unique selling proposition is, I'm going to link to a previous episode that I did only on this. But basically what this is a few sentences that you can plaster everywhere that allows people or families in your community to understand in a simple way why they should say yes to you versus your competition. Right? This is very simple. So I'm going to link that episode because I dive deeper into that episode. So if you don't know what a unique selling proposition is, or if you don't have one, or you just want to get some more information, make sure you check out the links in the show notes for that podcast episode. Okay. So once you've written out your unique selling proposition, you know exactly what makes you special, different, and unique, how you fill in the gap in your community. Then I want you to take that message and I want you to put it everywhere. So this should be found on places like your website, About Us page, on your homepage. If you have a values, mission, or our story pages, you have to be able to communicate this everywhere so that it sticks. So when someone is on your website, on your About Us page, on your social media, they understand what you're selling, what your mission is, what is the driving force behind your business. Because if they don't agree, then they can scroll and find another daycare for their child. And that's what you want them to do. This messaging should be so on point and so specific that moms and dads in your community know immediately if this is a good fit for their family or not, okay? And this is going to save you so much time, so many headaches, I promise you, because if you don't do this, you're going to end up with clients that just don't understand what you're about. They don't agree with your philosophy. You're going to get complaints, and it's just going to be really stressful. And I know this for a fact because when I started my center, I did not do any of this, right? I had no idea what a unique selling proposition was. I hadn't done any market research. I didn't do any of this, okay? So I remember having clients that had issues with the way we were teaching, the way we did interventions, the way we were with the kids, what we were doing, the activities. And I couldn't understand where this disconnect came from. But as I started learning about marketing and messaging and putting all those important things together, then I started to realize, oh, my messaging was so off point that I basically opened up my doors to anybody that needed space. And this was a bad idea because I realized that those that were in my center didn't understand, didn't agree. They weren't a good fit for my program. And unfortunately, a lot of them were making complaints. A lot of them just left. A lot of them, we had to cancel their contracts because it was not a good fit. And we knew that they would be better served in another daycare. Okay. So do yourself a favor and really just start thinking about your offer and your messaging, and really just be able to put this down, maybe 3 to 4 sentences, and plaster this everywhere. So on your website, on your About Us page, on your homepage, on your values page, your mission pages. This should also be sprinkled in your marketing material, all your paperwork. So anything that you have in terms of policies, educational curriculum, any hiring team book you have, onboarding, when you're onboarding new staff or new kids in your care, this should always be top of mind. Thinking about your offer, thinking about the message that you want to communicate, and making sure that all those are intertwined. Okay, it's really important. The other thing you want to think about is putting this in your tour process. This is really going to help you because you're not just going to be showing moms and dads, well, this is the kitchen and this is the, I don't know, where we go play outside. No, you're going to have something more concrete to share. And it's going to, number one, help you just give a better tour in general. And number two, it's really going to help you attract families that love what you're about, that really stand behind what you are about. And it is going to repel those that just don't get it, okay? So your communication is going to be so much easier with employees, with potential clients. You're also going to start creating an amazing brand image. So people are going to start to recognize or, say things like, if let's say, for example, someone is running an amazing bilingual program focusing on Reggio Emilia, and you keep talking about that and you keep sharing about that, well, they're going to start referring people that are looking for that. Okay. So you're going to become the go-to person if you do this well, okay? You're going to get more and more people engaging when it comes to social media. So when you're posting or when you're putting your website together or your newsletter, you're going to get more and more people engaging with that because your message is going to be crystal clear. It's going to definitely help you with your marketing and your sales process, guaranteed. When you know what you're selling and when you know what you stand for and people that are connecting with you understand that beforehand, then selling your services just becomes so much easier, I promise. And it is definitely going to make you differentiate your program from others in your community. So that is part 2, my friend. Take the time, implement what you just learned. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is in the show notes. As always, have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.